This is the ratio on PHEX to EHEX. So this isn't unprecedented, right? EHEX taking a lead on PHEX like this. I mean, this is a big spike down. We've seen it before. We saw it here. And I mean, going back, there was a lot of volatility early on, but yeah, I mean, it's just like where's like this narrative of like HEX. Look, if it's less liquid on one chain, it's easier to pump. If gas fees come down on one chain, by the way, I've seen GUE around 5 to 8 GUE lately. So staking cost is a non-issue. You can get all the ETH you need for this entire bull run today at these prices, and hold on to that puppy for 2, 3, 4 years, and you're good. Like that. So that narrative's kind of gone. I've been tracking this ratio for a while, and it's not like this spill down on toward the EHEX in favor of EHEX just happened overnight. Like this has been rolling over for like almost 4 weeks, right? So it's, you know, anyone who thinks like the market is decided on one hex or the other, the only thing I see in this chart is that the market likes both of the hexes, and like this is a huge range that you can trade just inside of here. So I guess there's no real capstone to this, but my God, like. Imagine flipping this at the right time or just holding on to both, right? I don't know if you guys got any comments on the ratios or.
I mean, just when it went 2.5, that's when I was like, whoa, that's you know, I was thinking 2.1 for a while, as you see the line there, the yellow line, and then I don't know when it started going high. Maybe that's the question I see from this too is why did it go higher? Is there any clues to like why would it go really high and then drop back down? Were there some events or whales or otherwise?
I know why people bought it. That's why.
That's
I know
insight.
It's tongue in cheek, but that's really that. You know, yeah. I mean, I wish to tell you that there was like some sort of magic behind everything besides people bought it and people sold it. But I think that what you saw was a narrative, and it might be the correct narrative, guys. So all the haters go hate, but it might be the correct narrative. I mean, PulseChain has higher throughput. It's got more velocity of money. It's got more users. I know I did 1,000 transactions. I don't do 2 on Ethereum. So there's a lot of stickiness to it. The narrative is there. Build, build, build. And then meanwhile, Ethereum's kind of like just doing what Ethereum does, has always done. And we've been seeing bleeding off of usage, etc. And so just simply those factors and people jumping on that narrative to buy up the supply over on the PulseChain, yeah, that's what drove the price up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why it's possible for this to happen and for it to actually completely swap around again and switch. It really just depends on someone like this dude comes in with $1 million, like about a couple $1 million worth of ETH and just starts buying.
Oh, you mean this guy?
Yeah, that guy.
This guy that's been buying for weeks now. He's probably brought in how much millions of dollars has he brought in? A ton. Like look at down here in the transaction log. We're talking like 14 ETH buy, 13 ETH, 14, 10 ETH, 21 ETH. This guy's amassed a huge war chest. Like he's currently sitting on 91 million on his wallet. You can see that here.
And he staked 300 million, right?
So, I believe so, but I don't. I was checking on here earlier to find it on here. He must have staked it on a different wallet because I can't find it. But
I found it on. I can pull it up for you later, but I found it.
Yeah, so I mean, if he's got, so I mean, the narrative here, Silver the Antidote tweeted it out already that I mean, this guy accumulated 300 million down here at these lows, and now that he's staked 300 plus, he's sitting on an additional 90 million. Like this guy, he basically owns the market down here because anyone else that's trying to compete with him has just been like trading their way out of their position. I could just pick any one of these whales. Here, this guy's accumulated a bunch too. So there's another one. But let's see, where's another one? See here, this guy is selling and buying, trading, probably losing his position overall. What about this guy? Tons of selling, losing his position. And where's all this position going? It's going into it's being consolidated into stronger hands. Another guy, like, same situation.
That's what I was wondering too. Like, Was there, you know, again, just back to the ratios, the sentiment change? Was it literally just people waiting for a bottom, or have they deemed this the bottom? Like, all right, let's just put in all these millions of dollars now.
A lot of reasons to think that this, you know, will be the bottom. You know, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, that was the bottom. You know, one thing that Crispy said that, you know, I don't know if everyone caught it, but he said that if you'd been DCAing into HEX since June, you'd actually be up more on HEX from this pump. And you know, you could take a look at like some of the longer term HEX charts like this. I like to pull up the Uniswap B1 chart because it goes all the way back. But you know, there's indicators here that the bottom is in. Like for example, down here on the bottom, look how long and extended we were on the RSI here at the lows. Actually, let me maximize it out so it's easier to see. But yeah, look how long we spent down here on these lows and just grinded along down here, and then look at the pop we got now. It beat out the old high, so we made a new high on the RSI. This is weekly, so this will close Sunday night at 7 Eastern. But I mean, this to me says we can come up and test somewhere in the middle of these RSI bands. And there's other data to back that up too. For example, the Mayer multiple, if I can find it here. 1 second.
Mayer multiple.
Had it up earlier. I don't know why I closed it, but let's see here.
Named after John Mayer.
John Mayer. Trace Mayer from the Bitcoin days.
Of course, of course.
So if you look at the combined HEX, all right, give Crispy Man at HEXFire some thumbs up. He puts a lot of this data together for us so that we have it.
Oh wait,
this is combined. This is combined. Now, if you look at let's look at the combined first, because if we're looking at the entire history of HEX, this is the equivalent of just including PHEX in as part of the stock split. Imagine that you just doubled the supply effectively, and then the combined values equals the total stock value. The original bottom was back here after the big collapse last summer in June, and that hit a level of a 0.20. The lows might even went a little lower. Might have been a 1.8. And then that grind, you see how this grinded up slowly over time? Even though the price was trending down, the 200-day moving average was coming down farther and farther and farther and farther and getting closer to us, so that at some point when the market sentiment flipped, the price could easily get back above and just eject off that 200-day moving average. Well, yeah, it took a while. It took from June all the way until, you know, January, so about 6 months for this bottoming period of steadily climbing up closer and closer to the 200-day moving average. But we're doing it again in the combined HEX price. So it's we bottomed here around 220 again, same spot, and now we're grinding up slowly. And today's pop kind of like signaled that, you know, it's time. Now if I break them down and split them in half, I look at HEX first. Look how long this just stayed flat down here but it's got a slight incline. You can't really see it that well because it's so tiny, probably for you guys looking from home. But this is on a positive slope. And then today you got the first little pump and into that closer to the 200-day. Now you can see how far we extended off this. But the way I read this is look at the opportunity just to get to the 200-day moving average. Now in the entire history of HEX, it's always made it back to the 200-day moving average, and in this case, it actually exploded off that level. So then the question becomes, how long does it take the market to accumulate these prices down here and then get it back up to the 200-day? And then what kind of a reaction do we see at that level? There's plenty of profit to be taken just between here and wherever the 200-day ends up by the time we reach it. And then here we are with PHEX. So it's a little bit of a similar situation, but PHEX is closer. It's further along in terms of getting closer to the 200-day, but same situation. Obviously this data back here is HEX data, right? Because this was pre-fork, but down here, this isn't so flat and elongated. This is actually on a stronger positive slope heading back. And anywhere under this green dashed line, these are extreme deep value discount zones where it's like automatic winning. Like if you just want to win, close your eyes and buy one of the hexes down here because you're going to win hard.
I do like to win. People are asking for a link for this chart. If you have a public one, I could put it in the chat.
No, it's not a public chart at the moment.
Nope. Never mind.
Yeah. So
No, it's okay.
Exclusive.
That's okay. It has the I mean, I get into details, not because I don't want it to be, it's because I don't have the capability of making it that way at the moment.
and because
worries.
Crispy's launching a new site, which will have a lot of this functionality built into it at that point. So yeah, you guys have no idea how much Crispy's working on in the background